Hi guys, welcome to the last video for this persuasive text we've all been writing together. And today we're writing our conclusion. So you have a topic that you chose at the end of week 1. It would have been one of those 5 topics. There was one about weekends, there was one about reading, one about pocket money, there was one about high sugar foods, and there was one about mobile phones. So you should still be writing on that topic you chose. So if you've been doing the tasks, then you will have a brainstorm of arguments for that topic, an introduction for that topic, a brainstorm of each of your argument paragraphs, and then a draft of each of your argument paragraphs using the peel structure. And then today you're going to draft your conclusion. This means that when you come to write a whole text on this topic on Wednesday and publish a text on this topic on Wednesday, you have all of the components in draft with some feedback, you've had some practice. So the piece of work that you write on Wednesday should be your best work. So today we're going to talk about conclusions. Your conclusion is a bit similar to your introduction paragraph. It's quite short and it does some similar things as your introduction paragraph. So in your conclusion paragraph, you need to restate your opinion or position on the topic that you're writing on, again using those high modality words. You need to summarize your 3 main arguments that have been in your argument paragraphs, and you need to conclude with a strong or interesting sentence to leave a good impression on your reader who you've been trying to persuade. So just to break that down a little bit further, the first thing you need to do in your conclusion is restate your position. This is your position on the broader topic. So you need to be using a text connective to show your reader that this is the last paragraph of your writing and that this is where you're going to conclude your arguments or sum up your arguments. And I've given you some sentence starters for text connectives here. So you can use one of these sentence starters to start your conclusion paragraph, your 5th paragraph of your writing. When you state your position, you need to use those high modality words that we've been talking about and practicing. I've given you some over here, but they are also, there's also a list of them in some of the earlier worksheets around our argument paragraphs and our introductions. So you've got a lot of sentence starters and ideas for high modality words, and you can go back and look at those. I've given you an example, and this is using my topic about school uniforms. Remember, that's not the one you're writing about. You're writing about one of those 5 topics that were in the first task that we did. So here's my example. In conclusion, there's my text connective. You must agree, so again, must, that uniforms have no place in modern schools. So a really strong restatement of my position. You need to do the same thing for your topic. The next thing you need to do in your conclusion paragraph is, whereas in your introduction paragraph you were previewing your arguments, in your conclusion paragraph you're reviewing your arguments. So you're just restating those main arguments one more time so that your reader is really clear. You don't need to include any details, such as examples or statistics. Those belong back in your argument paragraphs. And you don't introduce any new ideas or arguments. That will just confuse your reader. So in your conclusion, you are just summarizing your 3 main arguments in a list like you did in your introduction. So don't forget to use your comma after your first argument. Here's my example. Uniforms deny children the right to express their creativity, cause unnecessary expense to families, and make students feel uncomfortable and anxious. So I've taken my 3 main arguments that I've elaborated in my argument paragraph and I've summarized them here, just so my reader is really clear about what my 3 big arguments are. Finally, just as we started our writing with a strong hook in our introduction, that opening sentence had to be really strong to hook our reader in, we need to finish with a really strong sentence to leave a lasting impression on our reader. So we leave them with a strong idea or with something to do. 2 ways you could do that is by using a rhetorical question, and we've practiced those. So you could actually leave your reader with a rhetorical question to leave them thinking, or you can leave them with what's called a call to action. A call to action is when you tell your reader what you want them to do next. So you've changed their mind, now what do you want them to do? In some cases, it may be that there's a campaign that they join, or you want them to stop buying something or start doing something. But this is a call to action which says, okay, reader, I've changed your mind. Here's what you need to do now with that information. In some persuasive writing, you will have both a rhetorical question and a call to action. Your rhetorical question will lead into the call to action. So the example that I've given you here for my piece of writing I've been working on is, do we want to raise boring conformist students or creative confident ones? There's my rhetorical question. Join with me in calling for the immediate abolition of uniform for all our children's sakes. There's my call to action. Join with me in calling for the immediate abolition. That's a call to action. I'm asking them to do something with the information I've given them. So those are the three components of your conclusion. So what you're going to do, oops, I've just got a blank page there. I've given you an example here where I've put it all together so you can see what it looks like. Yours is highlighted on your copy, but you can see here, here's my restatement of position. In conclusion, you must agree that uniforms have no place in modern schools. You can see I've started with the text connective in conclusion, and I've used this strong modality, you must agree. That's my restatement of position. The next thing is my summary of arguments. Uniforms deny children the right to express their creativity. That was my first argument. Cause unnecessary expense to families. That was my second argument. And make students feel uncomfortable and anxious. That was my third argument. So I've reviewed or summarized them there. Finally, I have my call to action. And here it is. Do we want to raise boring conformist students or creative confident ones? Rhetorical question. Join with me in calling for the immediate abolition of uniforms for all our children's sakes. Call to action. I'm telling them what I want them to do. So what you need to do is draft a conclusion for your topic. That's the one you've been working on all last week. Don't come up with a new one. Don't make up one of your own. Don't use mine. Use the one you've been working on all week. Make sure it has at least 3 sentences. A strong restatement of your position, a summary of your main arguments, and a strong final sentence. You can try either a rhetorical question or a call to action, or you might do both. If you do both, that will be 2 sentences. Your rhetorical question will need to finish with a question mark. And a call to action often will finish with an exclamation mark, but not always. So think about how you punctuate those strong final sentences if you're going to use 2. So I've given you some space here. It doesn't need to be long. It does need to be strong though. So think about your choice of words so that you leave your reader with a really clear idea of your argument, and hopefully you've persuaded them to do something about that. Have a great day. See ya.